Guys, real quick.
Hmm. Yeah.
Was this whole comic just a Lord of the Rings allegory?
Oh my
I thought.
god. Oh my god.
Hello, welcome to Bite Me Fanboy, a comics podcast. I'm Kate,
I'm Tom.
I'm Jordan.
And I'm Kirsten.
and today we will be talking about Domino Hotshots, written by Gail Simone and illustrated by David Baldeon and Michael Shelfer. Spoiler warning right up top, we will be talking about the whole comic, so if you would like to read the comic or read the run, go do that and then come back and join us for the discussion. I'm going to throw it over to Jordan for a quick summary of the run that we read.
All right. So to begin with, this run comes directly after Gail Simone's Domino run, which was a 10-issue run. So that run gives a little bit more background on a couple of the hotshots. So on Domino, Diamondback, and Outlaw and how they know each other. Additionally, I am very excited to talk about a Gail Simone comic. So I found her through Birds of Prey. But she is also known as the person who made Deadpool famous. Deadpool was basically a dead comic until she was brought on as the writer. So she brought back a lot of the comedy for Deadpool that a couple of the more recent writers had been leaning away from. And her run of it is what got him popular again. And that's why she is also mentioned in the first and the second Deadpool movies. She also has written, I think she's the longest running female writer for Wonder Woman. She's written Red Sonja and Secret Six. And a comic that I will not make Kate read is The Clean Room, which I enjoy, but there's a lot of body horror in it. It is a horror comic and lots of trigger warnings. So I think it's good.
So we will not be covering that.
But
You will not be covering that. I don't know. If you get, like, the flu or something, Jordan and I will start running the asylum.
You absolutely can do whatever you want at that point.
She is also known for writing Batgirl. So one of the reasons that I really enjoyed Birds of Prey is because when Gail Simone started writing it, she's the one who brought in Huntress for to join the team. Prior to that, it was just Oracle and Black Canary, and Gail Simone brought in Huntress as a third person for the team, and she also brought in Lady Blackhawk. I love her comics. I actually have a signed script that she did for the Birds of Prey, and one of the things that I loved in the script that she has for it, she has some of the notes that she gives her artists, and I love how kind she is to them in it. She just seems really excited to be working with them and is excited to see what they do with some of the suggestions that they have given her and that she has given them. So I really appreciated that little insight into the writing process. Anyway,
That's really cool.
on to Domino Hotshots. So this comic begins where we see something fall from the sky in front of some Arctic explorers, and it infects one of them. And then we are transported to a scene where we see Domino, who is meeting with Black Widow to decide to put together a team. And one of the things I love about this comic is that Domino is allowed to fangirl over the women that she meets. And it's a lot of, the team does not necessarily always get along, but they all encourage each other to be like the best of themselves that they can be. So we see Domino fangirling over Black Widow, and they talk about the team that they're going to put together. So they end up bringing in White Fox, who is a South Korean secret agent, Outlaw, whose power is super strength. She's basically a cowgirl bounty hunter. Diamondback, who is a demolitions prodigy. Atlas Bear, so she's a Wakandan fighter who can also get glimpses of the future. And Domino is surprised when she somehow winds up in charge of this group. So her power, for people who are not familiar with Domino, is she controls luck, but she's unaware of how she does it. It's basically everything kind of goes her way. Black Widow describes it in the comic as her being a bad luck streak for her enemies. So once this team kind of comes together. They have their issues, specifically Outlaw and Diamondback trust Domino. They've worked together before, but Black Widow, Atlas Bear, and White Fox all have their own loyalties. So Atlas Bear is very loyal to Wakanda. White Fox is trying to get information for South Korea. And Black Widow is just kind of on the outside because she doesn't really trust everyone. She's kind of trying to figure out how this entire team is coming together. But they're going and searching for the scientist who was infected. On the way there, they end up in a cemetery and they find the scientist. And as they're getting ready to apprehend him, Deadpool shows up and he gets in between them and the scientist and is preventing them from getting to the scientist. And we find out later that he has been hired by Tony Stark in order to get whatever has infected the scientist. So Domino knows Deadpool. Outlaw and Diamondback have met him and worked with him before as well. And so they're watching Widow, Atlas Bear, and White Fox attempt to fight him. And Domino is going, there's no way this is going to go well. We have to talk him down because he's just going to kill us. And she actually, one of the lines that I thought was funny was she says she's about to try to reason with a cannon that shoots chainsaws when she's talking about how she's trying to talk Deadpool down. But eventually they're able to talk him down and figure out that, hey, maybe we should work together. We're kind of on the same side in this. And maybe we don't want to do what Tony Stark is saying because it might not be a good idea for him to have this power. This is where they kind of figure out the thing that they're chasing is called the Creation Constellation. And when they find out more information about it, Domino is going, we do not want Tony Stark to have this. We don't want anyone who has any type of power to have this because it is far too powerful. We want to make sure it stays out of the hands of the government. The only safe thing to do with this technology is to destroy it. Even Black Widow has a line where she's like, the Avengers can't handle this because they're at the limits of the amount of power they can currently handle. Domino has sort of convinced the team that their best option once they get this thing is to destroy it. And at this point, Atlas Bear and White Fox are kind of iffy about if they really want to destroy it, but they've agreed at this point that they're going to help Domino. So Tony Stark, who wants this technology, then sends robots after the team. So they're unable to shake these robots that he has sent after them. They're basically the Iron Man suits that are unmanned that he's sending to take down their plane as they're continuing to track the scientist. Diamondback blows up the ship, and after the ship crashes, Black Widow talks to Tony Stark and basically talks him down for trying to get the power for himself. But he makes a deal with the Hotshots to help them locate the scientist. And during the battle with the scientist, really the only person who did much damage to him was Outlaw when she was able to punch him. And they find out what this means when they are confronted with Sentinels. So for people who are unfamiliar with X-Men comics, the Sentinels are basically what was created to kill mutants. They copy the mutants' powers and are able to use it against them. And they're nearly impossible to kill. So Domino and Outlaw, who are mutants, noticeably freak out when they're faced with Sentinels. This causes Outlaw to trigger the constellation. So when she had hit the scientist who was infected, it infected her. And so she grows to this giant size and is able to take down the Sentinels. And at this point, Domino is going, okay, well, it's probably a good thing that she was the first one infected because it won't go to her head. She doesn't really want power. She just wants to have a good time. So we might be okay. And then Domino goes back through all of trying to figure out like how she got infected. It's like, okay, so she got infected when she punched him. Oh no, she has touched me and Diamondback has touched Wade. And okay, a lot of us are infected at this point. One person who is not noticeably infected is White Fox, who now realizing that this is her opportunity to get a portion of this power for her country, decides that she's going to try to get Domino to hit her and infect her. Domino's able to stop her from doing this and kicks her off the team. So at this point, Domino is aware she's infected and is able to realize that this thing was sent to the Earth by the Celestials, who are beings in the Marvel Universe who kind of oversee different areas of creation or destruction. So they're kind of like god figures in the Marvel Universe. And Domino is identifying that they sent it down here in order for them to test the Earth to see if it's time to kind of get rid of it. So she's going, okay, well, we need to get rid of this and and prove that we can handle the power by getting rid of it, because otherwise they're going to try to destroy the Earth. So they are able to track down the scientist who was originally infected, who they find he's basically in a panic spiral, just trying to wash off the celestial power that has taken over his body. And there were two scientists at the Arctic who are partners who are working together, and they find out that he has accidentally turned the other scientist who is trying to help him into this cocoon looking thing that you can't really tell if the cocoon was around the person or if the cocoon was the person at one point. So it's not a fantastic image.
It looks like a rock.
Yeah.
It looks like a rock with hair and that could possibly be made out of skin. So, and his description of it made me think, oh no, he's turned her inside out.
Oh.
Yeah. But I also watched too much Hannibal. So anyway, so they managed to, Domino takes in the power for a split second in order to destroy the scientist who has been infected before he destroys the world. And then she figures out that they are actually able to release the power themselves if they decide not to hold on to it. And so that's how she and the rest of the team are able to get rid of the infection. Then they go back home. And so in this case, home is the boat that they acquired during the Domino run with Domino's dog, Pip. And we were talking earlier before the podcast, but Pip was a birthday gift to Domino from Diamondback. So they're kind of team dog. He's adorable. So they're hanging out back on the boat with Pip the dog when White Fox shows up, and who has now been infected by the constellation that she apparently had stolen back. So Domino had sent the piece of the constellation with the unmanned Stark robots to fly it into the sun to destroy it, and White Fox was able to intercept them and take it for herself. However, as she shows up, she gives it to Domino because the second scientist was not actually dead. It was, in fact, a cocoon, not a dead scientist. And she is also infected with the constellation and has come back to seek revenge for the death of her partner against Domino and the Hotshots. So with the constellation, Domino is able to fight the scientist. But as she takes it in again, she is now shown what we can assume the scientists, something similar to what the scientists had been shown when they took in the power and decided to keep it. So she is shown that she and her team could replace the Celestials and watch over the world instead of being worried that someone else would destroy the world. Or, I mean, if she wasn't interested in other people, she could use it just to control her own destiny, to make sure that she's not hunted and be a hero, or simply to rescue other mutants. So she's actually shown a little mutant girl who's being tortured and tested on like she was when she was little. But she recognizes that she can't hold on to this power and still keep her humanity. She would try to use this power for good, but eventually she would forget that and it would corrupt her too. So she is able to recognize that she is enough. She does not want to go the route of the Dark Phoenix and try to use this power and wind up losing herself. So she is able to give up this power, and in doing so also remove the infection from the scientist. So that's basically the end of the run. Domino has saved everyone and created her own kind of new team. and they're off to rescue the little girl that was being held captive that Domino saw in her vision. So that's the basic story. And I really enjoy this because it's a short, fun run. It's only 5 issues. You've got some good fights, you've got some fun character designs, and it's just the girls are supporting each other. Each of them have their own problems, they have their own motives, and they don't always get along, but they aren't catty with each other. And when Domino is worried about being able to lead, both Diamondback and Outlaw are like, "No, hun, you got this. Just talk a little louder, stand up to him. We got your back." It's, I don't know, it's just fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was I saw like I understood why you liked it and you recommended it. I thought the writing was really fun, and name dropping Boromir got me like
Yeah.
very invested.
And the R2D2 reference. So Gail Simone likes to put a lot of well, and so it depends on the run and what type of run it is. So if it's like a Deadpool run or like this run to where it's a fun girls adventure, she likes to put in Lord of the Rings references, Star Wars references. But if it's a more serious run, she's not going to break from that. And that was also, so one of the reasons I loved the girls supporting each other in this is also, I had forgotten to mention, giving Gail Simone's background, she's the person who coined the term fridging for female characters. So she wrote the original, that was actually before she was writing
was a
comics. So, and I think that was actually how she got noticed and started writing comics, was from her essay on the Kyle Rayner death of his girlfriend, and how there were so many comic runs where the way to advance the male character was by killing or having something horrible happen to the women in their runs.
Tom, what did you think of it?
So I had fun with it. One of the things is Domino is one of those characters who I don't have a strong connection with, but she's a character who I have read quite a bit about, because she's kind of like, I always know her in my head as one of the best do-overs in comics. So she originally shows up in I believe it's X-Force. It was originally a New Mutants comic that became X-Force after 100 issues. And Domino's a character. She's all right, but she's not super compelling and all that. And then partway through, they reveal that at no point have you actually seen Domino. This is a separate character who is a shapeshifter who has been impersonating Domino for every appearance she has had so far. And then the real Domino shows up and ends up becoming a hero. And I always found that fascinating as like, oh, you could do that as a writer? Like, it's just, no, yeah, they completely redo her character and stuff. And it works a lot better the second time around. And the other thing is that she's very heavily enmeshed with Deadpool and his whole crew, because there was this very much like kind of an edgelord era where it was a bunch of edgy mercenaries and stuff. And Domino is part of that. And Deadpool, when Domino's the main character, Deadpool is much more tolerable because he's a supporting character, at least for me. It's so like, as much as I like Deadpool, he is so much easier to tolerate, like when he gets over the top, when it's not him as the main character, when we have somebody else. And that's a big thing they do with Domino. Also in this comic, because I think Diamondback gives him a kiss, that means of the original like posse that Domino had, Deadpool has had a romantic connection with every single one of them, because I know Deadpool and Domino at one point were an item, but also Deadpool and Outlaw were married at one point. I think Outlaw's originally from Deadpool, the Deadpool comics, or something like that. She might be from she's originally from an Agent X comic that might have also had Deadpool in it. But yeah, Outlaw and Deadpool were married at one point.
That's what I was going to ask, because I thought there was something between one of the, like, Wade and one of the Hotshots, but then somebody else like kissed him.
Oh yeah, Deadpool's been with everybody. He's famously I don't think he's the first openly pansexual Marvel character, but he's been a love interest for basically every character at some point, including, I believe, Phil Coulson.
Oh, okay. Well, good for Deadpool.
And I think one of the things that makes him tolerable, especially in this run, is because Domino knows him And so during the fight, when he's mouthing off to everyone else in the cemetery, she's in the back looking, going, okay, here's what he's actually doing. Here's where we need to worry. So she's commenting about him to explain why he's saying like the things he's saying, why he's doing the things he's doing. And she makes the comment, once the mark with the mouth goes quiet, we're all dead. So it's he's a serious character and he's a serious threat, that she's able to go, okay, but at the same time, he is a good person sometimes.
Yeah, and that's part of it. Like, it's interesting because you mentioned to me this was like a follow up to an earlier run, and I read that in Deadpool as much more straight up just a good guy. But then you come down with this story, and Deadpool shows up and is like, "Okay, don't pick a fight with me. You know, I've got orders. I'm being paid to do this. Yada yada yada." And then they do pick a fight with him. And the thing with Deadpool, if you are not familiar with probably one of the big Marvel breakout characters, he has a healing factor that is also constantly killing him because he has cancer, and the cancer has a healing factor. And so, like, the whole thing with Deadpool is that no matter how many times you would kill him, he would just come back. Also, I don't think it's canon, or I don't think it's in effect currently, but like there was also a fact that like Thanos literally put an omerta on him being allowed to die. Long story short, that Thanos basically made it so Deadpool couldn't die as a way of punishing him, and so Deadpool is like doubly immortal. So it's very, you have a character who's trying to be funny and can't get hurt significantly, that could get insufferable real fast.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, but I like him a lot as a character. And also, these are all characters that are kind of, with the exception of like the international crew and Black Widow, it's a bunch of X-Men characters. And I grew up reading a lot of X-Men, so a lot of these characters are like tangentially related to various X-Men, which is why she like mentions Dark Phoenix, which at some point we're going to have you read Dark Phoenix, because like it has some flaws. It has literally probably my biggest pet peeve in terms of plot points in Marvel or in comics in general, but at the same time it is so good, it still is like a solidly good story, and that tells you how much I like it. But like it's one of those stories that has cast a shadow over so many X-Men stories, and like when her whole thing is like, yeah, I don't want to become this celestial god using the constellation because that gives you Dark Phoenix. That's literally just like, oh, this is such a big thing in this world that you just say those two words and everyone knows what you're talking about. But suffice to say, it's like emblematic in this world of just going mad with power.
Kirsten, what did you think of the run?
I liked it. It was a little confusing just because, like, I didn't really know, like, who these characters were, and I didn't know where they were coming from. Like, Domino and Diamondback and Outlaw made sense, right? I was like, all right, they're a girl gang. And then I was like, who are these other three? Like, I know Black Widow, but it's like, oh, these other two. And nobody seems to be, like, happy with each other. And then when Deadpool showed up, like, I don't know. At first, he kind of annoyed me because he was like really mopey. He was like, I'm just a poor soul
Mm-hmm.
who cannot die. Nobody loves me. And then he turned into like a weird himbo. So, that was cute. He didn't bother me that much. He also felt kind of unnecessary. Like, I didn't really understand why that plot point needed to be brought in.
They had to have somebody to fight for the first two issues.
Okay. Yeah, he
I
he
think
just seemed
that might
kind of
be it.
okay. He just seemed like to come out of nowhere, and he was like, "Oh yeah, Tony Stark sent me." It's like, "Oh, okay,
And it could also
sure."
be that Gail Simone wanted to write him a little bit more
Yeah,
because she hadn't written
she's
him
the
in a
reason
while.
he is a likable character. Period. She's the reason like people like Deadpool, because originally he was just literally Slade Wilson from DC, but he's Wade Wilson from Marvel.
Well, and also, I probably should have asked y'all to read the Domino run before this because he was also in that. So he had some background with Outlaw and Diamondback and Domino before this.
So how was Domino introduced? Do you know?
She was a mercenary character brought in by Cable. So, to make a long story short, there was an up and coming writer at Marvel. Not writer, sorry. He doesn't write. He's bad at writing. No offense to the guy as a person. It's just I've never enjoyed his writing. But as an artist, he was incredibly influential. His name was Robert Liefeld, or Rob Liefeld, and he has a very weird, angular, out there style of art, and it became really popular. He created characters that famously, a lot of them look very similar. Like a lot of them look like the same guy, and you're just like, oh, okay, whatever. And he wanted to take over X-Men books because those were like the most popular thing Marvel was putting out. So what Liefeld does is he takes New Mutants, which is a popular comic, and turns it into X-Force, which is the edgy mercenaries whose superpowers mostly look like guns. You're just like, what? How is this a superpower? But they're covered in guns and pouches, and they grit their teeth angrily, and then like nothing happens for like 5 issues. But one of the characters that was super popular out of that was Cable, who shows up in the second Deadpool movie. Liefeld didn't have any ideas of what to do with Cable, and so he just kind of is there and mysterious, and they're like, yeah, we're going to definitely tell you about Cable's backstory eventually. And then I think other writers came in and wrote a backstory for him. So it's nothing you need to worry about. But basically, because Cable was cool and mysterious, Liefeld just started throwing ideas against the wall as like supporting characters. And Domino was one of those like ideas he threw against the wall. And I don't know if it was his idea to straight up say that the Domino they had in the comics was actually a supervillain called Copycat. But basically, they're like, no, a character with luck powers is actually interesting. Let's dial it back. We'll try it again. And that's where Domino finally comes in, and she is tangential to a lot of X-Men stories. The thing is, a lot of X-Men stories, not all of them, but a lot of X-Men stories have a level of not optimism is one word. It's kind of anti-cynicism. They have like a worldview where there's a lot less compromises you have to make. And X-Force, because it was trying to be edgy, was like, nah, these people kill folks and yada, they got guns and they got tragedy and all that. And so because of that, Domino is very, and Deadpool still, are both very much like outsiders to that run. Because Deadpool came from the same run. Deadpool, Cable, Domino, they're all like under the same creator and all that. And a lot of them were not super interesting because they didn't have any actual backstory. They just were there to look edgy and mysterious. And then other writers would come in, fill in the gaps, and notably, in this case, like Gail Simone is like a major force for taking these characters and redoing them in such a way that they have stuff going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because Domino didn't really have a good on her own run because her powers are kind of hard to get a handle on and show in a comic. I personally think Deadpool 2, the second Deadpool movie, did a good job of showing kind of how her luck powers work.
She is the best part of that movie. Like
Mm-hmm.
the Domino as played by Zazie Beetz is legitimately one of the best parts of that movie.
Yeah, she was fantastic.
Oh yeah, no, like just the bit where Deadpool is going on an entire rant about how luck is a stupid superpower, and you see all of these things going like exactly right for her as she does this crazy action sequence, and he culminates in it. It sounds like an idea made by a stupid writer who doesn't know how to draw feet. That's also because Rob Liefeld infamously could not draw feet to save his life.
But yeah, so when she's done right, she's a fun character, but it is hard to do her powers correctly.
I was going to say, like, I would imagine that would be difficult for, like, a writer to be like, okay, well, what are the luck powers? Like, what does that mean?
And also, like, how do you put things in her way if her power is everything goes her way? So how do you make it not work? So that could be fun to write, too. Difficult, but fun. And so I would argue, like, her luck powers in this are the fact that Outlaw is the person who got infected. She's the one who is not going. The power's not going to go to her head because she just wants to hang out with her friends and have a good time.
Yeah, she says it like at one point. She says like, yeah, Inez's things that she wants is to drink. She wants beer, she wants fights, and she wants sex. And she's like, she has no interest in taking over the world. That's why we're still alive right now.
So for the other team members, which one did you like the best out of all of them? I liked seeing Black Widow. I thought that she was cool. She was like the team mom. I think she was my favorite. Jordan, what about you?
I love Domino, but outfit wise and in this particular run, I really liked Diamondback. So I didn't like her as much in the prior, like I liked her, but not as much in the prior Domino run. But in this one, she seems like they make a reference to how she's always been cast as kind of like the snob. And in this one, she's like, I mean, I like pretty things, but I'm going to take care of my friends.
Kirsten, which one did you like?
Probably Deadpool.
Hey, good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the golden retriever energy he had through the
Yeah.
rest of the story.
Yeah, he does have like once they talk him down, he has big golden retriever energy in a good way.
He does.
And part of the talking down is reminding him, hey, we're friends. We don't have to do this. We're on the same team. And you aren't all by yourself. You don't have to be the emo boy. Just come hang out with us.
There's a comic that I always remember reading, and it was one of my favorite things that made me like Deadpool. It's a comic where basically nothing happens, but it's a comic called, I believe it's called X-Men Messiah War, and Domino is in it, Deadpool is in it, and a bunch of other characters, including Cable, actually. It's just, it happens to have some very silly bits, and the silliness works real well because the whole thing is like Deadpool is even crazier. It involves time travel. Deadpool is even crazier than normal because he was trapped in like a bank vault for a couple hundred years, and so he's been alone for that long. And then the time traveling characters all meet him, and he is just so loopy. He is so like just bonkers, and everyone's trying to figure out how to deal with this guy who's gone stir crazy from not having contact. And all of a sudden, friends of his from like before whatever happened to the world happened, they all show up, and he's like, "Oh my god, everybody's here!" And it's such a interesting and kind of goofy, despite being like trying to be super a serious storyline. That I that's the part I remember. And also I remember the line I believe from that is like, "Nina, can't you just shoot your guns up in the air and your bullets will just land on people or something?" And she says that's not how it works.
He kind of reminds me of Bob a little, like when he's like in his golden retriever era,
Mm,
just kind of like hanging
Yeah,
out.
I can see
hmm
that.
Like, hey guys, I'm just happy to be here.
I get that. I definitely get that. Golden Retriever energy is very fun for a lot of these characters, you know? Give people a Golden Retriever and like that can give characters a like a dynamic to operate with each other, you know? Like basically give people a dog.
Tom, did you mention your favorite
My
team
favorite
member?
is Outlaw, but it's going to be kind of in my favorite words. Fact is, Outlaw is she is like what if you took every like weird stereotypically Texan thing someone could say and put it in a translator app and had like just basically fed regular dialogue through it and then replaced everything. Like there used to be a thing where you could do that, where you could like replace text on a website and make it redneck. Where it would replace all of the yous with y'alls and stuff like that. That's what her dialogue is like, and it's very funny to me. And I think that's intentional. It's very, very funny when there's like a conversation about someone betraying the group. You hear bunch of double dealing owl hoots is what, you know, like that sort of thing. She sounds like a Texas Roadhouse menu. It's great. It's so silly, and I am always down for like I don't know. This is an X-Men thing, but like Chris Claremont, who wrote and managed X-Men for so long, multiple decades, he always wrote phonetic accents. Like he would always write people's language phonetically, and so I always kind of am very. I find it very funny when there's an X-Men comic where someone talks with a funny accent because it gets very goofy very fast in a way that I love. Like she's trying to say what she's going to do to take out the galaxy equation, and she's like, "I smash it, I pummel it like a mouthy saddle hand. Problem solved." She sounds like she's Woody and someone's pulling the string on her back from Toy Story, and like somebody's poisoned the watering hole. Like there's so many ways. Like and that's the thing is that like it's one of those things. I think I've realized that's just literally talking about it right now. A lot of these older comics that had like the Liefeld characters were so self-serious. What they needed was something that was funny and something deliberately silly to balance it out. And I think because even if Deadpool's in part of the comic, but he's not like around the whole time, just having Inez Outlaw around, that helps a whole lot just to give us that.
And I think there's a good balance with not making her a caricature because she has some, like, she's the heart of the team. She's the, I've got your back. We're going to make sure that you're okay. And when someone messes with her girls, she's going to stand up and put them down.
Yeah, and that's something I appreciate. Just like, yeah, and that's probably like, and the thing is I just kind of gave you some of my best words for the thing, so I think I've already said my piece for that. But it's just, yeah, it's just I like it when you have something that's kind of keeping me from saying, oh, this is being taken too seriously, you know.
And that's why I think like Deadpool himself was kind of also like a little comedy relief and like kind of lightens up the tone a bit. So do you think that part of the reason why why Black Widow kind of turned to them instead of the Avengers, do you think it's because the Avengers, she wasn't sure if they would have been like seduced by that power that was promised?
Oh, absolutely. And
Yeah.
that,
Tony
well,
Stark.
yeah, so
Yeah.
that was
Well, yeah.
they did float at one time giving the constellation to the Avengers, and Black Widow's the one who said absolutely not. The Avengers right now are at the limits of the power they can hold without going bad. So, and I think having her the like non-powered, one of the non-powered, because I would argue Tony Stark doesn't inherently have powers, he's just smart.
Mm-hmm.
So having her be on the team with Domino is also having her recognize that we don't need to give this to someone who already has powers. We're putting together this little team who, and calling on like Domino, Diamondback, and Outlaw, they just kind of want to have fun together and not do anything too serious except for protect each other. And Domino, because she grew up as a mutant who was tortured for her powers to figure out like how they worked and everything, her main thing is going, we're going to protect the people who can't protect themselves. And that's why it kind of ends with the, hey, I saw this little girl that we need to go and save. And I know Outlaw and Diamondback are going to come with me, are the rest of you. So this is the team that we need to deal with the ultimate cosmic power, because they don't want to take it for themselves. They have what they need, and they're going to use the power that they already have to try to make the world a better place.
I wonder if there was like some kind of commentary on having the team be all women in terms of like, well, they are going to be offered this like world shattering kind of power. And Black Widow thought, let me assemble a team of women, and specifically like not all like white women. There's like, it's a diverse array of women there. And I wonder if there's kind of like some commentary on that.
Well, so I know Gail Simone does like to write teams of women. So Birds of Prey was one of her bigger runs. She's done Wonder Woman, and she pulls in a lot of different types of characters too. Like in her Wonder Woman run, and even in her Batgirl run, she added I'm trying to remember the character's name, but she added a transgender character to help Barbara. But that was one of the ones. So like I had started reading the new Batgirl. I was iffy because they had started this run saying that Oracle or Barbara Gordon had gotten her the ability to walk back, and so I was iffy about it. Oh, Aisha Yo, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, it's Yeoh. So she likes to add inclusivity where she can, and especially building up female teams. So that was kind of the whole Domino run before this, was giving Domino female friends that are going to fight with her.
So you mentioned how she wrote other women before. So how does this kind of compare to like another group of women like Birds of Prey? Or is it similar?
So Birds of Prey, I would argue, is a little bit more serious. It was a much longer run. This was a very short run that she got with Marvel. And so we are talking Marvel versus DC and different time periods as well. So the time she was writing Birds of Prey was the like darker DC, versus the time she's writing this Marvel Domino comic is Marvel's more light storylines, brighter colors compared to the DC comic she was writing. So she got to make this a kind of funny run, versus the Birds of Prey run. There were lighter moments, but it was a more serious comic. I like both of them.
Okay.
And then, I mean, she's also like, The Clean Room is a horror comic. And I know, so I have not read Sonja, but I know she's written that for a long time.
I believe it's Red Sonja.
Sonia, I'm sorry.
Don't quote me on it, because so no, there is a whole legal thing about the name of a character called Red Sonja because there is a character named Red Sonja, but it's not spelled with a J. It's spelled, I believe, with a Y. That is created by the same writer who created Conan the Barbarian, but she is like a pirate mercenary in the Middle Ages. But then to supplement Conan the Barbarian comics and stories, they basically created an entirely new character named Red Sonja, but they changed the spelling so it would be their property rather than anybody else's. And so, like, I know there's a lot of weird legal stuff with Red Sonja, but I have not read any of her comics. I know she is incredibly influential, and I would like to get a look at it and just see where. Like, I figure if I finally read Red Sonja, I'm going to find out, like, oh, that's where this comes from, that's where that comes from. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, I need to read this comic, and I'll find out where so many things came from.
Mm-hmm. And I was on I got to go to a panel where Gail Simone was talking with Amy Shu about Sonja, because Amy Shu had taken over the comic. And I know that they both loved the character and had so much fun writing her. So it's anytime I hear that an author really enjoys a character, it seems like it's going to be a really fun run to read.
Yeah, I prefer it when the writer likes what they're writing.
Was this run kind of like received well by fans and stuff?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't talk to people about comics generally except for y'all.
I've heard nothing but good things about it, but that's also like when you have most Gail Simone stuff, you hear nothing but good things about. The one that I've heard heard negative things about Gail Simone's writing was the Batgirl series where she was given the ability to walk again, and that is entirely because editorial told her to do that.
Yep.
That was not a Gail Simone original. That was DC's editorial said, we don't want Barbara Gordon to be Oracle anymore because they want her to be Batgirl so they could like brand synergize everything and have everything get reset back to zero. Even though like when she was Oracle, she basically was the leader of the Justice League. Mm-hmm. So they're like, no, Barbara Gordon is Batgirl now. None of the other Batgirls that I mentioned liking in our How Did You Get Into Comics episode, none of the Batgirls that I like get to have happened anymore. It's just Barbara Gordon as Batgirl. And yeah, and frankly, she was really cool as Oracle, and they got rid of that. And then, of course, DC also tried to blame Gail Simone for it because they fired her from her book.
Very briefly.
Briefly.
And then they got rid of the editor.
They hired a new writer, Gail Simone. She was the only woman writing for DC at the time, by the way. They had 50-something comics coming out.
Jesus. What a look.
Yeah, and she is the only reason I love Batgirl. Always have. Barbara Gordon's one of my favorite characters, and Gail Simone absolutely loves her as well. And it's one of her favorite characters. The only reason I picked up that Batgirl run after they took Oracle away from her is because Gail Simone was writing it. If any other author had written it, I would not have picked up that comic.
Yeah, and that's, I think, part of why DC realized they made a mistake when they fired her. Because not only was that literally the only woman they were willing to employ at the time as a writer, but that was the only writer who could have any goodwill doing this. Mm-hmm. And so actually, I'm going to just say this right now. If you want to understand what happened with the New 52 and everything wrong with it, there is a article called like an oral history of the New 52. There's that. There's also a video. It's actually, I've mentioned this guy before, Linkara. He did an April Fool's Day video where he's trying to do a Stephanie Sterling style video. If you know who that is, you'll know what that means. Where it's this like video doing a post-mortem on everything that went wrong with the New 52. And there's so much that went on, like that where basically management had no idea what they were doing. And the writers had no idea what management was doing. And it kept trickling down. Like when I say no idea, I mean there was no plan. And when there's no plan, everybody is trying to figure out what to do, but also not step on anybody's toes. And Gail Simone did her best in spite of that, and so I think her success as that writer of that Batgirl run is in spite of everything that she was forced to do, rather than like great ideas. I mean, I like the design of a villain that she created for that run, which is this guy who's like themed around creepy mirrors. Like, I thought that was a really cool look, and that was like, oh yeah, Gail's like, yeah, well, let's have a villain who's themed around like mirrors and all that stuff. And I'm like, yeah, no, that's cool. I like that. I don't think the character's look was designed by her, but his concept and like how his personality and style works, I'm like, yeah, that was good. But like, yeah, that is the main weakness of Gail Simone. Like in her entire career, she has done so much good, solid stuff.
Mm-hmm. All right. If we don't have anything kind of more to say in general, I think we should board Thomas the Take Engine. And this is where we can air out our hot takes and controversial opinions. I will go first. I know that like he is a very popular character, but I didn't love Deadpool in this run. I thought he was just fine.
I mean, my statement is, as someone who likes Deadpool and is like an actual Deadpool fan, just fine is like a rousing endorsement sometimes for Deadpool, because he gets so overused so much in so many things. Like, there are parts of the Deadpool movie, like, I like the first Deadpool movie solidly. There are parts of the second one I like. Deadpool and Wolverine is like a movie that, regardless of how much I enjoy it, it feels like it's made to have people take clips of it and use them for TikToks. Like, where people will take a clip from that movie and use it rather than have it be like this larger cohesive work. And it really makes me kind of bummed, because it's a character I like, but he gets like overused and a little too clever and a little too, oh hey audience, isn't this crazy? And it burns me out on him so much. And him being inoffensive with Golden Retriever energy is such a nice change of pace. It's like when you know, if you've ever been babysitting some really dangerous kids who like know how to start fires, and you're trying to avoid them starting fires and burning down their house or like hurting their pets or something like that, and then you get some kids who are mildly loud. You're just like, this is nice, they're only mildly loud.
Well, and then you guys mentioned the fact that he has been through their entire friend group, essentially, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's not great.
Never at the same time.
Not like, no, he's not. He doesn't.
Jordan!
He's not a cheater. He's not a cheater. He's just like, oh yeah, we've got a bunch. Like, that's the thing about superheroes, is you've got an entire group of people who are all extremely hot, who live in life or death situations, who might die in the next 5 minutes. Like, of course they're going to hook up with each other.
I guess.
And this
And
group is
Deadpool's
fairly low
been
drama.
around since the 90s, so it's been about 30 years. So like, there have been 30 years of storylines.
Yeah. And just like, you can see how Domino and Outlaw kind of react to Diamondback, and they're like, yeah, I mean, yeah, y'all are good. We're fine.
I just think it was this very funny, like, it's just Domino, who I think Domino is like officially in a relationship with Diamondback at this point, and it's just like, sure, why not? Which is just the funniest response I've seen to like, oh yeah, my girlfriend kissed Deadpool. Anyway, sure, why not?
Yeah, there was that too, because I thought they were a couple. Were they not?
I think they are. It's just, and this is something from the prequel series. The not the prequel series. The Gail Simone's Domino run before this, that she mentions that she is in a relationship, but they are not exclusive.
Oh, okay.
Because Domino also, I believe, is bi. Just like, you know, Deadpool. Deadpool uses the label pan, so that's the label I'm going to give him. But, like, yeah, no, Domino is, like, in a relationship with Diamondback, but also has the biggest crush on Shang-Chi ever. She's just like, oh, I got a fan out. I get to hang out with Shang-Chi. And, like, she gets excited because she's driving a motorcycle and he's riding on the back of it with her. You know, like... So, you know, they have a relationship with established... where their boundaries are, I guess. I just don't know what they are, so just good for them, I guess. I think Deadpool having multiple exes is probably the least uncomfortable and toxic X-Men relationship situation I've seen in a while. And that's saying, you know, I can explain to you why Scott Summers ended up with Emma Frost. And Kate, you will actually learn how to breathe fire when I explain to you why Scott Summers and Emma Frost got into a relationship.
Oh God.
She was his therapist helping him deal with trauma
No.
and
No.
started mentally. She's a
No.
telepath and started mentally messing with his head and mentally having an affair with him by like entering his dreams and pretending to be his wife.
What the fuck? Who is
'Cause
this lady?
Emma Frost, one of the main leaders of the X-Men.
She can turn her skin to
What?
diamond. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, she's one of the major. Like they've never had a good adaptation of her in any of the movies. They keep trying to, and it fails miserably every time they do. Like they'll have like, oh yeah, we got a really good actor this time, and I'm like, yes, excellent, and then they never give her anything to do.
I'm like, she's a brilliant character. Let her actually talk instead of just stand there.
Yeah, no, that's the
She
thing. Is
sounds like a horrible person.
oh, she is,
It depends on the
but
run.
she is also a compelling character. She is a compelling character. That said, I do not like that storyline. I do not find her compelling in that story. There are plenty of other stories where she's compelling. But I will always hate that storyline because like it's so contrived and also
Disgusting.
not only that, it also undermines like more than a decade of character development of her trying to become a better person. So, yeah, it's just like this is another segment of Tom Makes Kate Sad.
Join us next week.
Join us next week where I also explain the storyline where Jean tells Scott it's okay and he should hook up with his psychiatrist after she dies. But back onto this, my hot take is Deadpool is best as a supporting character. And I say this as someone who loves Deadpool a whole lot. But, like, give him weird miniseries, not ongoing stuff, and you'll have a lot of good times. Like, you can do some fun stuff. Like, Deadpool team-up comics, those are fun.
Yeah.
He teams up with US1, a superpowered trucker. Like, that's great. I love it. Like, that sort of thing. Give me that. Don't give me, like, ongoing Deadpool stuff, and don't give me edgy, like, Deadpool stuff. I just want goofy Deadpool supporting character. Also, someone please help Outlaw find some warmer clothes because I know she's got to be cold.
She's
Poor
comfortable.
Outlaw.
She's
Have
indestructible.
you worn shorts that short?
God, no. The air hurts my skin, Kate.
Yeah.
The air hurts your skin.
I was gonna say, I was like, I did not catch that the first time you said that. Kirsten, any hot takes?
Any hot takes, Kirsten?
I really don't like the dot on Domino's eye. It just bothered me the whole time. Because she looked like a Dalmatian,
Mm-hmm.
but just with the one spot. And I was like, we either got to commit to more spots or we got to have no spots.
That was a branding thing done to her to punish her.
Oh.
By the
Oh, well, now.
she mentioned. Well, so I'm just gonna say Domino agrees with you. She hates the dot too because Domino had like the reason there's like a little girl trapped in a lab that people are experimenting on her is because that's what happened with Domino as a kid. Like people found out she has the power to change luck, and they literally stuck her in a lab and kept her there as a child and did experiments trying to see if they could make her turn luck on and off. And after she basically some guys threatened to kill her cat they gave her a cat. She named the cat Christmas, and the scientist threatened to basically turn a taser up to maximum level and then kill the cat with it. Domino used her powers to make the guy who was holding the cat sneeze, and because of that the cat moved out of the way and the guy got the taser shoved in his face. And I don't know if it killed him, but basically the guy holding the cat got the taser to the face and not the cat. And that's why, like in revenge and retaliation, the lead scientist branded her face with the black spot.
And so one thing we didn't talk about that I meant to bring up is we actually have letters from comics fans in the back of these issues. And we haven't seen them in some of the other runs that we talked about. And if you go back and read the Domino run, a lot of the people who sent in not just letters to the editors and to the writers about how much they love the comic or what they want to see, they sent in pictures of them dressed up as Domino or pictures of their pets
Aw.
who kind of look like Domino. So that's the whole like Pip also has the like one spot over his eye, Domino's dog. That was one of the reasons that Diamondback got him for her. So I just thought that was cute. I like reading the letters that people write in. And the editors will like write back little things too, and you can read that in some of the comics. It's normally in longer runs, and there are a lot more in the older runs because people used to pick them up weekly in the store, and so it'd be easier to like write in timely and then have them respond in the next issue.
Any other hot takes? Okay. So moving on to the best or the worst drip. So best or worst outfits. I know, Jordan, you probably liked, is it Diamondback?
Yeah.
The purple outfit? Yeah.
Well, and her outfit was also, in my opinion, the most practical. So like she has a big jacket that she can get in and out of quickly if she needs it, but it has a lot of pockets. So she's the demolitions expert. So that's where she keeps all of her bombs and everything. I absolutely despise Domino's outfit. I don't like the design of it. It's very distracting. It's just the angles are wrong. But it's the same outfit that it's like her costume. That's her common costume. So they couldn't probably change a lot of it.
I liked Natasha's bob. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I liked, and was it me or did her hair change over the course of the run? I just probably didn't notice.
I think it gets lit weird because whenever the Celestials tech gets used, everyone starts looking like a Jack Kirby drawing because Jack Kirby had a very specific style, and it's only the things that have been touched by the equation or constellation. Only people who've been touched by that like look that way. And so I think they change how she looks the more like Celestial that's going on.
Because I could have sworn she had longer hair, but then at the end she has like shoulder length hair, and I was like, oh, that's cute. But maybe I just like didn't notice.
She has shoulder length hair, but I'm wondering if there's like a change. I'm looking at it right now. I'm trying to figure out.
It's very possible.
Okay, so what it is that it is her hair length is the same, but there's a bunch of stuff going on in the comics where she's like, by the end she's jumping around, flying through the air, she's falling into water. She's in the weird like space realm when she's like talking with White Fox. So her hair is doing crazy stuff. So it does not look the same. Her hair is very straight at the beginning, and by the end her hair is all like wavy and curly because it's been messed up so much. So there is a definitive difference. So you're not going crazy.
Okay, it's good to know. Any other opinions?
I gotta say, worst is Outlaw. As much as I like her dialogue, someone said, "Hey, could someone give me a sexy Steve Irwin costume?"
Oh no. Oh no.
Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. It's like a khaki super short shorts and like basically like what a swimsuit top, and like the holsters for her pistols are bigger than her pants.
You know who she looks like? She looks like the host of like, is it Hotshot from Cowboy Bebop?
Yes, she looks like one of the people from Hotshots.
Yeah.
Yeah, she looks like one of the hosts from the Bounty Hunter show. Yeah, which is like a Vegas showgirl version of a cowboy outfit. Yeah, I gotta say Diamondback's outfit is going to probably be one of the better ones that I like, just because Diamondback is an old school Captain. Diamondback used to be a Captain America villain and was like his Catwoman, and so like her outfit's been honed for decades and decades. People have been refining it to make it look good. And the other one I like, even though so it looks super hard to draw, but I love how Atlas Bear looks. Mm-hmm. There's so much going on with her costume. It's not one that's an easy outfit to wear. Let me pitch it to you to explain how Atlas Bear is dressed. So Atlas Bear, she's got the like a entire bear pelt with its head over her shoulders, and then she has a split set of bear jaws on either side of her face, and then she has this kind of threaded gold and black Wakanda outfit. Like if you've seen the Black Panther movies, you know what I'm talking about. And then she has these two. Basically, they're balls on chains, but the balls have claws sticking out of them. And she's got one in each hand. Plus, also her hair is in braids. And she's got like a gold hairband holding it back. So there's so much going on with this outfit, and it's probably a nightmare to draw, but it looks like something that I would love to see a cosplay of. Like there is someone out there with a Atlas Bear cosplay, and it's one of the coolest outfits you will ever see at a con. Like if I saw this in real life, it would look so cool.
I like wasn't able to focus on her outfit at all. Like I saw it and I was like, that's too much, and just like only looked at her face the entire time.
There was a lot going on.
Yeah, there is so much.
I think if they had just gotten rid of the cloak or bear pelt is what threw me off, because she's supposed to be a fighter. And the idea that she can fight in all of that practically threw me. And I mean, she's not just a fighter. She's also their pilot. She's also like knows all the tech. She is everything.
You know, it's interesting that they're like, oh yeah, we've got all this international team, and then there's the one girl whose job is to do literally everything, and everybody else is there for other reasons. But like, oh, so the team is actually Atlas Bear and and friends. That's what the hotshot should be called, because it's Atlas Bear's jet that they fly in. It's Atlas Bear's tech that they're using. It sounds like this should be called Atlas Bear Hotshots and not Domino Hotshots, but Domino's the leader, I guess.
So I think like it. So I agree with Tom in that the costume would be fantastic to see as a cosplay. What I would have wanted is when she's like wear the entire get up as a pilot, or when she's dealing with the tech, but like shrug off, have like the coat drop scene when she's getting ready to fight. That would make it make more sense to me.
Yeah, I think it would be good like in a movie or in a cosplay, just like on a comic where there's so much visually happening already. It was too much.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else had like one color.
That is a thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody has a color, except for Atlas Bear. Atlas Bear has several colors.
So I know Tom kind of mentioned his a little bit before, but what words or what quotes were the best in the comic, or ones that kind of stuck with you? I was really excited when she name dropped Boromir and like R2D2, and I was like, one of us, a nerd.
There was a line from the graveyard fight where Domino just goes, "Unleash the cemetery cats of war." I'm like, that was fun. That, and then the one that I mentioned earlier where she's describing Deadpool and what would happen if they have to fight him, and how she's going to talk him down. And she's like, "I'm going to try to reason with a cannonball or with a cannon that shoots chainsaws." So there is no like, can I reason with this thing? If not, we're all dead.
Yeah. Anybody else?
I liked all the
Right.
continued Hobbit references.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yes,
she would
yeah.
call them her hobbits. She would like just make reference to them. So it's cute.
A big ol' nerd.
Well, and honestly, that's great for a comic that's also about who do you want to have power is the people who don't want to use it, which is who do you want to give the ring to? You want to give it to the hobbits who are actually going to destroy it because they just want to go home, hang out with their friends, and eat good food.
You're right. All right. So if people enjoyed this run or enjoyed Gail Simone or any of the characters, what recommendations would you guys give to people looking for more of this?
Guys, real quick.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Was this whole comic just a Lord of the Rings allegory?
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Quite possibly, because Gail Simone is also
Oh
one of
my
us
God.
and loves Lord of the Rings.
I didn't see it until now.
Kirsten.
I'm
Kirsten.
sorry.
No, there's
No,
nothing to be
it's
sorry
you.
about. Like, the scales have fallen from my eyes.
But I don't know. I started
My-
thinking
my
about
mind
it and
just
I was like, you're
exploded.
right. Like nobody wants this power, so like they are the hobbits.
They're the hobbits. And oh my god, no, but that's also why, like, okay, so in the books, there's the Scouring of the Shire, where they go back home and they still have to confront Saruman and the legacy that this power has left behind. And what happens? They go back to their home base and have to deal with the person who has the celestial power infected them, and she wants revenge, and like they have to deal with that, and they have to like survive and deal with her. Like, yeah, no, this is a Lord of the Rings thing. And the last issue is them doing Scouring of the Shire.
Okay, so let's delve deeper into
Wow.
this.
Kirsten is over here galaxy brained.
Big brain time.
Big brained.
So Silver Fox, she's Boromir.
White Fox.
White Fox, she's Boromir.
Mm-hmm.
White Fox is Boromir.
Who's going to be Aragorn?
Because she
in this?
wants
Is
to
that,
use it, yeah.
Is that going to be?
Well, would that be Deadpool? Because he kind of comes in halfway through and is kind of like backup for everyone.
Oh, I think it would be Natasha because she's kind of like
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
leading them. And like, I can't
The
The
real
believe
leader.
you all the
established
way.
leader from a larger scale group that is bigger than what the normal smaller group is.
So Inez is Sam.
Well, I was gonna say Inez might be Sam, but like Atlas Bear is definitely Legolas because she's the person who's like carrying the rest of the party. You know, phenomenally powerful, all this stuff. Like if she had arrows, she would have an infinite quiver of arrows.
I was
She
thinking
could definitely take down an Oliphant by herself.
Yes, yes, exactly.
I was thinking Inez might be Frodo because like she initially has it and like has the celestial power.
So the reason I would argue that Inez is Sam is because she's the one who is not tempted by it at all. Versus Domino gets tempted a little bit, and she's kind of like the reason that they're going on this quest together, and she's the one who has it at the very end and has to turn away from it.
And the scientist is Gollum.
Jeez.
He's the guy who got touched it and got warped by it. It isn't himself anymore, and in order to destroy it, he does die.
This works on so many levels.
We need to get Gail Simone on the podcast and corner her about this.
See, I wouldn't be
Yes.
able to talk though because I'd be going, "Don't be weird, be nice. Don't be weird. Don't say anything dumb."
No. Well, I think that everything you've told me about Gail Simone, she would probably be thrilled that we like made this connection.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go back to recommendations.
Sorry. I would definitely
Birds
say,
of Prey.
especially if you want a female team written by Gail Simone. So again, it is a little more serious, but it is also a longer run, so you get to know the characters more. I like how Gail Simone develops the characters when she's given longer runs.
Secret Six is another good one. But like Secret Six was like Deadshot, Scandal Savage, Ragman, Bane.
Oh, thinking of Thunderbolts though, it's kind of the same vibe.
Oh yeah.
Cause like just kind of a group of misfits have to like come together and like learn how to work together and they eventually become like a found family.
Yeah.
All right. Do we have any last thoughts or can I wrap us up? All righty. Thank you for joining us on Bite Me Fanboy, a comics podcast. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your fellow comic fans. Also, please consider supporting us via Patreon, where you can see all of the images we talked about today, listen to episodes before they go live, and unlock bonus content. We will see you next time. Bye.